Yeah, I'm a snob.
Yeah. I love the show, but I love seeing celebrities under huge amounts of stress.
Yeah.
I like it when they break.
I wouldn't want to put myself through it. You know, Emma did it and she was incredible. Melanie did it in the US. Incredible.
Right.
They both did so well, but fuck that.
Yeah.
The rehearsals are like, they rehearse for stupid amounts of hours.
Well, you're a great dancer, and you can tap, am I right?
I can tap. I was shit at tap.
Really?
I went to performing arts college and you know, tap was on the syllabus and I used to wag the lessons.
All right.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No.
It's hard to make
I
that
was
noise.
crap at it. I don't like things I'm not good at.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you were always good at singing from a very young age.
Well, I always enjoyed singing. I didn't know whether I was any good.
Right. And then you found out when you sold bajillions of records that I guess I'm okay,
Yeah,
right?
I think when I was about a teenager, I was a show-off when I was a kid, which really, thinking about that's really weird because I'm not now.
Having all that fame and money and attention when you're so young, did you at some point think, fuck, I have to do this for the next 50 years? Did it just seem exhausting at one point to you?
You know what, I never really thought about the future.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, living for the moment. And I think that's really sad, especially when you're part of something so successful. You don't really appreciate it because you're just in it.
And it's all happening.
Yeah.
And you think this is how everyone kind of lives, maybe, for a minute.
You think it's going to last forever. You don't contemplate the
But
future.
it has lasted forever.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Is there anyone that has any questions? I know there are a lot of fans from that, obviously. Let's go to this boy here.
Yeah, Melanie, you come across, well, you are such a down-to-earth and lovely personality. Have you ever had any diva-ish moments?
Have you ever had any diva-ish moments? You come across so lovely.
I've had deviant moments.
Well, yeah.
Gosh, I'm sure probably. Ask my assistants over there. She'd probably vouch for it. No, do you know what? It's so hard to talk about yourself in these terms, isn't it? But I was brought up and I just believe that you should treat everybody how you want to be treated, and that's just how I want to go through life. And I'm sure there's moments when I'm a twat and I'm horrible and I'm rude to people, but I don't mean it.
Yeah, it's all about intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Question? What do you do? Go ahead.
Hello.
When can we expect your new album?
Okay.
No rush, girl. This was the front row.
I know. Yeah, you know, these things are hard because it takes as long as it takes. But we're hoping to release the album autumn next year.
Awesome. Alan in the back in the red t-shirt.
Having your own record company, have you thought about producing new artists?
Have you thought about producing new artists?
Yeah.
Asks an artist who gave you this.
Yeah. The truth behind that one is when I first started the label, it was like, oh, that'd be an amazing thing to do. But the reality of it is, I just don't think that as a label we can afford to do it. It's so expensive to make records and, you know, market and promote these things, and I don't think I could ever give a new artist enough.
But you could be the next Simon Cowell if you went on one of those shows and became a judge.
One Simon Cowell's enough.
I know, yeah. Yeah, but he does promote young men. Anybody in the back that hasn't yelled out things into the big creepy? Anybody in the far back waving their white sleeved arm back there? Go ahead.
What do you think of the rise and adulation of Cheryl Cole?
What do you think of the rise and adulation of Cheryl Cole?
Gosh, that's a really good question. I
asked her to ask that.
Yeah, very good. I met her very briefly a long time ago, and the thing is, at my age, when you meet bands of today, they were all your fans or young girls, and you know, so they were very, very sweet. I met Girls Aloud, and I've never come across her. I've never come across her again since, you know, her huge life change. I think she's incredibly beautiful.
Cute regional accent.
Cute regional accent. No. Ticks all the boxes. You know, her particular style of music isn't really one that you know I'm into.
You mean the tone deaf kind?
But she comes across great on X Factor. You know, I've got no problem with it, but I was working with somebody the other day. I won't say who it is. But
say who it is.
But they said something which really made me laugh. And it was like, has everyone forgotten she beat up a black woman in the toilet?
We haven't forgotten actually, at all. And that's kind of what she was asking, I think, a little bit. Oh, we have forgotten. And it wasn't the first racial slur that's ever flown out of her mouth too. She's really good at it. And she says things to gay men on the show that are a bit like, "Oh, come on, Nancy, butch it up." She says things kind of like that to gay men that stop the whole panel.
No, but you know what always happens, right? And we shouldn't all become victims of this. Someone becomes really successful, and then we just all slag them off.
Yeah.
It's like some of it's jealousy, isn't it? Is it?
But
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not really jealous of Cheryl Cole, but I do feel like if someone's that famous and that wealthy, they should have a modicum of talent. That's the world I come from. But having said that, success in showbiz is not always about talent. If it was, all movies and TV shows would be good, right? But sometimes it's about timing and luck and who you know and who you're on your back with and all that. And I'm sure she's a very nice, tiny person. All right, what is it? Yes.
Hi, well, you're awesome, so cool.
Thank you.
How do you feel about your obsessive fans putting tattoos all over the place?
How do you feel about your obsessive fans who probably dress like you, behave like, or try to behave like you?
Tattoos of your face all over the place.
With your facial
Yeah.
tattoos on their body.
I met somebody with my face on their arm.
All right. She's funny and security. Go ahead.
Gosh, it's very flattering to have fans of any kind.
Of course.
But it's kind of weird for them, What if I did decide to go, fuck this, I'm gonna go, yeah, totally. So it's yeah.
I saw Streisand live with my mother. That's the gayest sentence I've ever said. And in San Francisco, and it was strange because we stayed after because I know her cellist, again gay, and I know. So we were part of the party set, but Barbara didn't stay. Barbara was on the plane back to New York about 2 seconds after the show because that's how personable she is. But a lot of women did stay around. A lot of women, and if she wanted to be on the show, of course we'd have her, like Cheryl Cole, because we're hypocrites. But the point is, a lot of women did stay around, and they were real women. I checked, and they were dressed like Barbara in different periods of her career. I know. One with the 60s hair, 170s, one with curly early 80s, and I know all the periods because, again, cocksucker. The weird thing was, they were kind of standing there and not kidding. Like they weren't being ironic or they weren't dressed up. This is just how they appear. Do you ever worry that you're going to walk into a shop and you are going to be standing in front of you, earnestly being you? Like, what I'm saying is, do you ever worry about your security? Do you have to hire people to look after you sometimes? Or do you just walk around the streets like you're anybody?
This is quite a dangerous thing to talk about, isn't it?
Well,
no, I try to live, well, I do live as normal a life as I can, really.
Right.
I like to get the tube, and I live in London. It's the easiest way to get around.
You go on the tube?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, you're nuts. Go on.
I know.
Well,
Sometimes it's the quickest way.
I know.
You know?
I do it too, I know.
Yeah. But, I think, you know what? Of course, if you're in the public eye, maybe you are in more danger. But I just think, we're all in danger.
Yeah.
You don't know who, the next crazy person.
Right. Yeah, I know.
But also, Scott,
Yes.
you should finish that story. The thing Scott's not telling you is he has a tattoo of Barbara.
Yes.
Actually, and that's the thing that he had to.
I do, yeah. And now, because of where it is, I have to shave my ass so you can see the face. I know. And that's what you mean on your body changing, right, with a tattoo. I know. I love my Barbara. But listen, you, oh, look at that. Oh, wow, what's that one?
It's a dragon. Yeah.
Wow. What's the newest one?
This one.
Yeah, oh, right.
But even that's possibly, can it be 10 years old?
Wow.
No, 8, 6, 7. How old is it?
Melanie, everybody.